The sun is setting over the vast desert of the Old West, its golden light reflecting off the rocks and the hot sand. The heat of the day still lingers in the air, creating an atmosphere of tension and uncertainty. Governor Matthew Collins, a man known for his reformist policies and seen as a threat by powerful enemies, travels in his carriage, heading toward a crucial meeting. He seeks the support of local leaders for his reforms, but is about to fall into a well-laid trap. Unaware of what awaits him, the governor continues with his escort, oblivious to the imminent danger approaching. The governor proceeds with confidence, unaware that his journey is being observed from afar. The sound of horses' hooves breaks the silence of the afternoon as a group of bandits approaches, hidden by the landscape. Their hardened faces and treacherous eyes fixate on the carriage, knowing this is their chance to capture or even eliminate the governor. They know that with him out of the way, their ambitions and the struggle for power will have fewer obstacles. Tension begins to build, and the environment feels charged, as if nature itself is aware of the gravity of the situation. The sound of hooves draws nearer, and the governor, oblivious to the danger, keeps his gaze fixed ahead. He speaks with one of his aides, apparently at ease, unaware that his life is about to be turned upside down. The carriage rocks slightly, and the creaking sound of wood, combined with the dust being stirred by the wind, heightens the feeling of immersion. The desert landscapes rush by, and the governor, with a serious expression, seems determined to reach his goal. But as the sound of hooves intensifies, he fails to notice that the noose has already tightened. Governor Matthew Collins is a man with a clear vision. He wants to reform the Old West. His progressive policies and desire to restructure the power system have challenged old allies and enemies who benefit from corruption and territorial control. However, his quest for change puts him directly in the sights of those who see him as a threat. Aware of his growing popularity and his ability to unite local leaders, his political opponents and criminals of the West cannot let this pass. They plot a deadly scheme, hiring bandits to intercept his journey and eventually neutralize him. As the governor's carriage heads toward his meeting, the strategy of his enemies begins to unfold. Knowing that the time to act is near, the leader of the bandits, a cruel and calculating man, watches every step of the governor's route with attention. He knows that if all goes as planned, the governor will be captured before he can speak with the local leaders. Every move of the escort is being monitored, and every decision of the governor is analyzed for a flaw. The machinery of the conspiracy is in motion, and the governor, unaware, is about to fall into a well-planned ambush. As the atmosphere intensifies, the governor continues in his carriage, unaware of the trap awaiting him. The sound of the wheels on the dirt road and the steady rhythm of the journey contrast with the rising tension of the scene. With each kilometer traveled, the feeling that he is being watched intensifies, but he remains focused on his mission, believing that nothing can disrupt his progress. The calmness of the journey is interrupted only by occasional exchanges of words with his aides, as he prepares for what he believes to be a decisive moment for his government. The silence is broken only by the sound of hooves approaching. As the carriage moves forward, the governor remains unaware of the danger closing in. The landscape around them seems peaceful, but there's a tension in the air, as if the land, the wind, and the sky are conspiring against him. The bandits, now strategically positioned on high ground, watch every movement of the carriage. They know their move will be made soon. The trap is about to be sprung, and the governor is at its center, unaware of what's to come. As the bandits prepare for the attack, the governor and his escort continue their journey, with the carriage rocking slightly with each bump in the road. The conversation inside the carriage continues in a calm tone, with the governor discussing details about the upcoming meeting. But in the minds of the bandits, everything is being calculated. The synchronization of hooves, the distance between the carriage and the ambush points. Every movement is being carefully timed. They know that, at the right moment, the governor will be surrounded and captured. Suddenly, the sound of a gunshot shatters the silence. The governor, still not understanding what is happening, is startled and turns to see his escort reacting to the attack. But it's too late. The first shot is followed by others, and the ambush begins. The carriage is hit, the horses are startled, and they begin charging in all directions. The governor is thrown to the floor of the carriage, while his escort tries to retaliate against the attacks. The situation turns into absolute chaos, and amid the panic he feels the pressure of being just one step away from being captured or killed. At the moment the situation seems hopeless, a different sound breaks through the chaos, the thunder of hooves approaching with speed. Ruby Thunder McAllister, a cowgirl famous for her skill and bravery, emerges from the hills, riding her horse with flawless precision. She fires with deadly accuracy, taking down bandits one by one, turning the tide of the confrontation. Her presence is imposing, and within seconds the battle begins to shift. The bandits, shocked and disoriented, try to retaliate, but the cowgirl moves with lethal efficiency, protecting the governor and his escort from certain death. Ruby charges forward with the same speed and precision as a storm, moving past the bandits and knocking them down without hesitation. The governor, stunned, watches with a mix of surprise and gratitude as she takes out the last of the enemies. Her skill with weapons is unquestionable, and her presence brings a ray of hope to the governor, who had already believed this would be his final journey. Ruby, however, shows no sign of celebration. She knows the fight is far from over. She casts a sharp glance toward the horizon, as if she knows more challenges lie ahead. As the bandits are defeated, Ruby approaches the carriage, helping the governor to stand and regain control of the situation. She doesn't ask questions, just observes, alert to every movement, ready to act again if necessary. The governor, now more aware of his luck, feels a wave of gratitude for this woman who, seemingly out of nowhere, became his savior. Ruby, with an unshakable expression, ensures the area is safe and signals for the journey to continue. She knew that, despite the victory, the West was still full of lurking dangers, and the governor needed to reach his destination, or the changes he so desperately wanted would remain nothing more than a lost dream.